Hello and welcome to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be the 2v2 game that I was talking about in the previous video. So yeah, the team colors is on, so yeah, since there's no referee, the player that I am spectating will be blue, allies will be teal, and the enemy will be red. So it's going to be a little confusing, but just imagine it as the standard red versus blue. So here we have Sonik spawning in as the blue human player on the 9 o'clock position, which is rather odd because he is a night elf player, so he is off racing. I guess he just off races in 2v2s, I think. I don't know, I'm not going to make that assumption, but I'm just stating that. I guess that is an assumption either way. His ally is going to be an undead by the name of LatinLoveZ, or maybe LatinLoveZ, whichever one. I'll just call him Latin just for the sake of like easiness, something like that. Who cares? Yeah, he plays a lot of 2v2, as does their enemy. We have ArchitectofRuin spawning in as the red undead in the 3 o'clock position, and his ally will be AggressiveHum, who also spawning in as the red undead player in the 6 o'clock position. The map is on Centaur Grove. Now I usually show around the map if it's the first time I've casted on it, but since this is a 2v2 and well, there's going to be a lot of things to actually, you know, catch up on, I don't think I can spare the time. So yeah, we'll just go along as it is. It is going to be an Archmage Death Knight versus a double Death Knight. So what I want to say is, obviously the double undead player will have the synergistic advantage, and also I've seen the match histories on these guys. AggressiveHums in particular plays a lot with ArchitectofRuin. I'll just call them Hum and an Architect. So yeah, there should be, I believe, some existing synergy regardless of the race anyway, since these two guys play with each other so much. And of course, since it is double undead, the double Death Knights can actually heal each other's units, which should be able to make this, you know, a really interesting game for Sonik, because he doesn't really have much synergy with Latin, because, well, he's an undead and he's a human, can't really heal each other with Paladin or Death Knights. So yeah, there's that going for him. And yeah, just Sonik is playing off race. I guess that's the interesting part here. I'm not sure if this game's gonna be as interesting as you guys would think. I did watch it, and yeah, let's just keep it going. It's not a really long game, so that's why I chose to actually cast this one. We are gonna have a Death Knight versus Death Knight action here. Skeleton's actually going to join in on the fray as well. Latin is going to be forced to retreat. Hasn't really done much with his Death Knight. He actually went for the Waygate, or double Waygate, back to the original position. I guess that was just there to confuse Architect? No, that's Hum. That is going to be really annoying to keep track of these two different undead players here. Anyway, instead, other than the fact that there's the synergy of healing each other, there's also the synergy where, like, they could formulate a nuke comp. Like, Undead is notorious for having that Nova Coil combo, but imagine if that was doubled. Imagine if you have two Death Knights and two Liches, then honestly, without Invulnerability Potion, no unit is safe from the red team. And of course, if they actually, you know, go even further with the Naga Sea Witch, which does usually follow it up with the new comp with the Fork Lightning and all that, that would be an interesting sight to see. But of course, we'll have to wait until Tier 3, which both undead players should be going anyway, since that's usually the norm there. Tier 2 has been completed for Architect Hums is nearly done as well, as in addition to Latin. We also saw Sonik going for a tier 2 as well, so yeah, maybe he wants his army out quickly. Honestly, like in 2v2s, getting an early expansion is not really that great in my opinion, because like your two opponents could actually just go tier 2 and rush an army. Meanwhile, like your ally might be the only one making an army, which means it's almost like a 2v1 kind of scenario. So, yep. And it does seem like the blue team is taking quite a bit of a hit. At least Sonik is. He is going to lose his Archmage, in fact. I'm pretty sure the TP scroll was in the inventory. I guess he just wasn't expecting a death coil. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's latency issues, since this is from the W3 arena, which, by the way, I did fix the top left. Hopefully you guys have ignored the top left in my past 5 videos, because those are not from the WCA. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Lich coming out for Architect. I imagine it's going to be the same thing for Hum. Yes, he will. Also, the undead players are going for tier 3 very, very quickly, as we do see from all 3 of those guys. We did hear a Mountain King coming out for Sonik as well, so far it's pretty standard from both teams. Like, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing fancy or anything like that. We are going rifle casters, as it seems, from Sonik. Yeah, and I'm actually wondering if the Archmage is actually returning. It is taking a little while for that Archmage to actually, you know, revive. Alright, huge attack on Architect's base. We have a Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend. Will we have it falling? Probably not, since we do have the Death Coils available, but, well, it does seem like the Lich Burst is a little too much. Oh dear, Rifleman might actually die. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Oh, but we are going to have a turnaround on the Death Knight of Architect. We do have a Stormbolt into a surrounding with Crypt Fiend is not usually something you would see. Forcing a TP scroll by Architect. It does seem like Hum, also baited by his teammate, will indeed lose his own Death Knight. What does this seem like? Latin almost losing his own DK, but he will be able to back off with the TP scroll. Meanwhile, Sonik was able to run away with a couple of his units, losing pretty much all his riflemen that he did send off. So it might be a little bad, but we shall see. Riflemen and priests. So it doesn't seem like we're gonna have any spellbreakers just yet. Of course, that is an obvious fact, since we don't actually have an arcane vault for our friend Sonik. So yeah, at least there's the synergy. Not necessarily synergy, since priest, I guess it's just obvious, but priests can also heal undead units. They can heal basically any unit, as long as they're like magic immune and all that. So the priests, it's a nice idea because, you know, it will help Latin as well. Sadly, Latin doesn't actually have any return whatsoever, unless he gets his own obsidian statues, which can also heal Sonic stuff. But yeah, Latin is going for destroyers. Not sure how many actual statues he will have out, but we shall see. Architect, his heroes are level 2 and 2. His Lich does have a fair amount of attack, so yeah, maybe you'll be able to burst as much as possible. We do have a Boneyard out for Hum. We also have a Sacrificial Pit, obviously, so shades are definitely in play. Sadly, because I am looking in the perspective of Sonik, I can't actually see any like invisible units in the minimap. Of course, I can just change into what the red team, and there we go with the shade is being used to keep track of everything, I guess. possible expansion attempt coming in the top left, which is going to be pretty hard to deny in, for the red team because it is just so deep into enemy territory. So that is definitely going to be, you know, a pretty safe expansion from Sonik. And if this expansion actually finishes, hopefully it will be able to mend the natural synergy between these two undead players, because then it will be evened up with like an economic advantage for the blue team. So synergy versus economy or something like that, we shall see. We do have a Nagasiwish coming out for Hum. I believe that is his third hero since he already has the Black Citadel. So it's only up to Architect now that if he wants to get, you know, another Naga, or if he goes for something else, which he will go for a Dark Ranger, which is, of course, it shows, you know, actually has some sort of sense, because you don't want to just go full willy-nilly with that nuke combo. You gotta actually prevent that Mountain King from being, you know, a pain, or prevent that Death Knight from, you know, being the Death Knight. So yeah, Dark Ranger there most likely for the silence. So we might be seeing some big fights already, maybe. Now I did say that this place was going to be super safe, but we already have a ghoul slipped in here trying to deal some harassment. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too much. Level 3 for the Lich and the Death Knight of Latin. Level 3 for the Archmage of level 3 for the Archmage and Mountain King of Sonik. So hero advantage is kind of tending towards the blue team, maybe. I guess it's not really. The red team does have, of course, a lot more heroes, and, you know, pretty even leveled heroes at that. So here we go with a huge fight here. Frostrooms, destroyers on both sides. Let's see how this will handle. It is going to be rather difficult for the red team, I think, because like we have a lot of riflemen out as well as crypt fiends for the blue team. Like most of the mass is actually like committed to these Frostrooms and destroyers, which can easily be taken out by these crypt fiends and riflemen, which is kind of puts the comp into question here. Like I expected either Architect or Hums to have, you know, a lot more crypt fiends, because Frostrooms are pretty glass cannon-ish. Alright, we do have a shade for the blue team, so Latin does have a sacrificial pit. I don't think he will go for a boneyard because his you know, existing comp is solid in itself. Like once it gets into Frostworm territory, yeah, they're cool skeleton dragons and all that, but like they're light armored. They have like a lot of health, but the riflemen deal just so much damage. As we can see, Sonik is 1-0 in his upgrades, Latin is 2-1 in his upgrades. Meanwhile, the double red doesn't actually have any upgrades whatsoever. Sonik is going to lose his Archmage again, as to be expected, because he is facing such a nuke heavy you know, race, and he might actually lose his Mountain King maybe. Yes, there we go, a Deathcore will actually claim the Mountain King. This is going to be rather bad for Latin, as he is, well, it's not going to be bad for Latin, it's going to be bad for Sonik, because he can no longer retreat his units because there's no way to TP scroll out. Latin, on the other hand, does still have his 2 heroes, so he can TP scroll out if needed. Mountain King is going to come back with the Tavern Revival there. He does have the Amulet of Spell Shield, which will maybe prove to be useful against this double undead comp. It's not so far, since the Mountain King already died. We also have actually a Haunted Goldmine in the bottom right, so the economy kind of evened out there, but I guess the blue team already scouted this, as, you know, the shade was there. Latin not looking too good. He might actually be forced to TP scroll out, as he is kind of wedged between 2 players. So yeah, this is problematic, but at least he got a Froststorm out. That is like the plus side over there. It's gonna be bad for Sonic. I don't think the Mountain King does have a TP scroll. Yeah, he doesn't. So he has to run away. Or at least fight to the last breath, because like if you can maybe take out that Death Knight, it might be all goods, but he is gonna lose a lot of units. So he's just gonna try and run. Okay, trying to run. No way for the undead to actually slow this unless the Lich gets a Frostbolt or something. Or if the Naga actually has Frost Arrows, but she's pretty much dried out on mana. Alright, Archmage is back. Does have +6 claws. Yeah, we actually have a ghoul coming out over here. He is again harassing, so it's a little weird that this base doesn't actually have a tower. That might be, you know, really weird. Alright, we already have a peasant actually dying, so yeah, a tower would have been really nice there. That's just a mistake that Sonic needs to remember. So yeah, I'm not sure about this comp. Actually, no, I think there's enough Crypt Fiends that it might be alright. The only problem is that without any destroyers, Spellbreakers can actually join the mix now for Sonic, so we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. Thunderclap dealing quite a bit of AoE damage. It is, I believe, only level 2 Thunderclap. I guess it's reasonable anyway. Okay, replacement Frostworm has come out, and he's instantly webbed. Not a sight you will want to see. Latin still has his destroyers out, so maybe they'll be able to deal enough damage. Obviously, the Riflemen are just destroying face on that Frostworm, which is not that great. TP score is going to be forced for Latin. Nice for the red team to actually focus target the hero, because they weren't going to win otherwise. I don't think. Sonic is still sticking around. Death Coil on the Rifleman. Probably should have been saved for the Death Knight, because that potentially could have killed him there, but doesn't seem like it. Sonic's also going to TP scroll out. Maybe he'll pick off an Abomination while he's at it. Nope, doesn't look like it. Another expanded attempt coming in from Sonic, but that is, yeah, it's not a safe location, so he's probably going to be forced to cancel that. Actually, I don't need to click on a building because I already have his resources up here. He is going to cancel it. Yep. I mean, he didn't cancel it immediately because like it was almost complete. So if you could save it just a little bit, then it is all the worthwhile. But yeah, seeing as he couldn't actually save it, it was a good idea to just cancel it, refund the resources and all that. So 59, 36. So Latin doesn't actually have that many units out. Meanwhile, the red team, we have 51 and 46. So technically, the blue team shouldn't be so aggressive because the red team has, you know, so much more units out. But the blue team's still there. We'll be able to take down the Mountain King of Sonic. Nicely done from Architect there. Yeah, it's really weird, a 2v2 fight, 2v2 game, and it's basically two 1v1s right now. And still, the two 1v1s, the red team is winning because they have a really good army in itself. Maybe not against Sonic. Sonic was just caught out a little bit. Those mass riflemen are, you know, really strong. But 2v1, it doesn't seem like it's a smart idea to stick around. So there we go. I believe one of the red guys lost their Death Knight. It is going to be Hums that did lose his Death Knight. That's a lot of Death Knights he's lost so far. Might be a little bad for him, but yeah, that's actually really bad that he lost his Death Knight so many times, because What's his Death Knight right now? He's level 4. That's a lot of resources. He's also lost his Naga Sea Witch. So, yeah, a lot of resources into just reviving the heroes, which is not really good because you want to obviously put that money somewhere else. And of course, it's not really helping if you keep pumping out those frost worms because they're really expensive. Alright, 0-0 on those upgrades. Still not liking that, but it doesn't look like Sonic's actually, you know, advancing further to his upgrades. He's still 1-0. Meanwhile, I think Latin is, yeah, he has 2-2, so at least he values the upgrades, which is, I guess it kind of makes sense. He's finally gone low upkeep, so yeah, he's pretty much fixed the problem he had earlier, which was like a high upgraded army, which is small. Yeah, things are really slowing down. I don't know why. But yeah, Sonic really wants to expand. He's the blue team's actually going to group up and go, I guess. Alright, let's see how this fight will go. 2 Froststorms out, which might be a little scary. Latin's actually got his own Froststorm out, so let's see how this will turn out to be. The red team will benefit off of that protection scroll. The Froststorm of Latin actually just popped instantly, so this might be a little bit problematic. Sonic will be forced to focus down these Froststorms. Yikes, it does seem like the red team is kind of suffering here, but nope, 2 Froststorms have already been killed off. We have a fair amount of Crook Fiends out for both teams, and the Riflemen. The Riflemen are being unanswered. Like, not many Riflemen are like very low health. Lich for Hum, I believe, was taken out. No, that was Architect. So 1 hero for 1 hero. Mountain King of Sonic was taken out. Lich for Latin might be a bit of a problem, but since both these undead heroes are actually level 5, level 5, like the big hitting abilities are here. Level 3 Death Coil and level 3 Frost Nova. Level 6 will be actually attained for the Death Knight. He will indeed get himself the level 3 Unholy Aura because, you know, since it's a team game, auras are that much more effective because it hits, you know, a lot more units. There we go. Expand from Latin on the top right. Uh-oh, here comes Architect. It doesn't seem like he appreciates this move from Latin. He is going to indeed fight off Acolyte versus Acolyte, but it does seem like Latin is going to move out since his spider senses are tingling, and yeah, this is not good. I actually want to see if Latin will cancel this. Okay, there we go, he did. Thankfully, because last time I watched this, I thought that he didn't, which was pretty funny because Sonic entrusted him with the lumber, and then Latin repaid him with losing that lumber. Now Sonic does have his tower here, but a scout tower is not gonna do much. Okay, Arcane Tower. Still questionable. The Arcane Tower is not that effective in schools. Of course it'll be effective against skeletons, but I don't think at this stage of the game players are willing to spend 150 gold to buy that rod, just for like measly harassment. So yeah, I'm not sure about that Arcane Tower, honestly. Alright, 6138. I don't know why Latin has a low supply again. I guess it was just because he lost that Frost Room, which is like 7 food supply in itself. Alright, big fight. Latin kind of chunked on his Death Knight, but same thing happened for Hum's Death Knight. Thunderbolt actually going to assassinate this Naga Sea Witch, which is going to be bad. Level 6 for the Lich will be coming out. Will he have the Death and Decay coming out for the blue team? It doesn't seem like it. Hum actually going to quit, as well as Architect. So that is going to be game. Yep, there's the 2v2 with Sonic off racing. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. I am going to just cast replays off from the Zodiac Cup number 12 because someone linked a replay pack and I do really appreciate that. I'll see you guys again next time. Take care.